Hello. I wanted to do a video on the basic understanding of what narcissistic personality disorder is, because I don't know if it's not mainstream. A lot of people that I'm talking to don't know what it is. They think, you know, the word narcissistic is thrown around so flippantly today. He's a narcissistic son of a bitch, you know, he was an asshole. No. Narcissistic personality disorder consists of a criteria of symptoms that makes it a disorder. It's in the DSM. Sense of entitlement, grandiosity. It's very difficult to explain, but there's a link below that will tell you exactly what it is on Psychology Today. They're basically wearing a mask that hides themselves from the world, and then when they get home with their significant other, or if they're a family member, I'm talking romantically, then their mask comes off and they are extremely abusive. And they follow a certain criteria romantically. So just so you guys who are on the dating fronts know that they start out with love bombing you. This is a vernacular that's going on, just so you're educated. Love bombing you, which can consist of texting. You will know it when you see it. I mean, it's unmistakable. Just they completely love bomb you with everything you've ever wanted. Prior to this, they've studied you. I guarantee you they've been on a date with you, or they've been somewhere with you and studied you to find out exactly what you want and need. They're very manipulative, highly manipulative, and very, very perceptive and smart. And they've been doing this a long time. They will study you, find out exactly what you need, and then love bomb you. And you will get blown away. You will get the oxytocin in your brain and dopamine in your brain will get so hyped up, you will become addicted to this person, which is what they want. God forbid you sleep with them, but if you sleep with them, you're even more hooked. As the relationship progresses, usually in a short period of time, because they know that they're not going to be able to be tolerated, because eventually they can only hold that mask up for so long. It gets heavy, that false self. Eventually they're going to go into the phase called devaluing phase. They'll start devaluing you. They will have learned where your weaknesses are, which is how they got in to get you to fall in love with them, and they will start devaluing you. They'll start treating you like shit. They'll start different tactics. Mine used silent treatment. Rough speak. He would answer me very abruptly and meanly, and one of my sensitivities is neglect and fear of abandonment, and he utilized those real well. Another technique he used was ambient abuse, where he would the vibe he would give off was so full of rage and anger, the hairs on my body stood up. They have this way of projecting themselves, which is just, unless it's one of those clubs you don't want to belong to, like if you've lost a loved one. Until I lost my mother, I'd never lost anybody to death. And then I remember a friend telling me, now you belong to the club that nobody wants to belong to. Well, if you've suffered from narcissistic personality disorder abuse, you belong to the club nobody wants to belong to. Only the people that are in this club can really get it. So I'm doing the best I can to explain the fundamentals of what's going on with NPD and the abuse suffered from this. After the devaluing stage, pretty quickly comes the discard phase, where they discard you, and it's usually very quick and unpredicted, and you are blown away. You had no idea what was going on. All along behind the scenes, this person has been lying to you. I guarantee it. And the reason why they started to devalue you is because they have another, they call it supply. You've been supplying them with energy and your vibe, because they can't generate that on their own. So they've been picking out another supply and been grooming them to be next in line. So that's part of the vernacular going on that's difficult to get, is supply. You provide that supply. They need admiration. They need not love. They don't know what love is. They don't have empathy, or if they have empathy, it's very low. And they follow a spectrum of, it's cluster B is the disorder, and it's on the same spectrum as psychopaths and sociopaths. NPD falls right below that, along with borderline personality disorder. So it's a lacking empath is definitely one of the symptoms. And they don't give a shit about you. They want supply from you. They want what you can offer them, whether it's money, whether it's sex. Usually it's admiration or attention. They thrive off of that. Without it, they will fucking die. They literally will die. Look it up. It's called mortification. Narcissistic mortification. It's when their false self falls apart and they're faced to look inward, which is an empty, hollow vessel that's filled with a 7-year-old from child abuse. That's where they got stunted at. It's the disorder is caused from child abuse, and it is very, very sad. But the damage they do to people is immeasurable. And they go on and on and on and doing this love bomb, devaluation, discard. And some people are in relationships with these people, particularly empaths, which I'm going to get into on my channel. They're really attracted to empaths and codependents because the codependent's trying to please that taker. It's a taker and a giver. Perfect match. The abuse that's suffered from this particular disorder, NPD, is a particular kind of abuse, which I have argued for in a prior video to get specific help for, because it's different from all other abuses. It's different from domestic abuse. It's in the same family, but it's different from complex post-traumatic disorder, because I'm familiar with that. I have that from my childhood. But these NPD people, men and women, although men do make up a larger portion of them, are out there. I think it's now 1 out of 4, and we're certainly in the atmosphere in our society right now that's breeding more and more of these people. I'm number 1. It's all about me. It's the me generation. Nonetheless, this is a disorder that really does exist. Please be on the lookout for it. Please look it up and become educated about it, because it's very prevalent. It really needs to go mainstream. It's not a narcissistic, he's an asshole, he's selfish, he didn't help me with this, she's a narcissist, she only cares about herself and her makeup. No, it's a disorder. And these people are dangerous. A lot of them do end up beating up their partners, or a lot of them do end up killing their partners if they happen to fly into what's called a narcissistic rage, which is a very dangerous place to be. Anyway, if you're with an NPD person, the only solution is to get out and do something called no contact, NC. Do whatever you can to get out. It's definitely a relationship based on addiction. You get addicted to these people, male and female, because they've really got you in there. They've really got you hooked like a fish. So I just wanted to do a quick education film, try to make it as quick as possible. Everyone be strong out there.